Have you ever noticed how your mind quietly gives up without any loud sounds or dramatic warnings? It's not a sudden event, but a gradual process that happens beneath the surface. One excuse at a time, one delay at a time, your mind starts to surrender. Most people don't even realize it's happening. They believe failure arrives suddenly, but in reality, it's trained every single day. This subtle surrender shapes who you become, often without you noticing. Let's explore how this silent process unfolds and why it matters so much for your future. Excuses don't shout, they whisper. Each time you make an excuse, it's a small step toward surrender. These moments add up, quietly shaping your habits and mindset. Over time, repeated excuses become beliefs, and those beliefs start to define your identity. It's easy to overlook these tiny decisions, but they are powerful. The mind learns from repetition, and what you repeat becomes your reality. This is how failure is trained, not in big moments, but in the small choices you make every day. Delaying action is another quiet way the mind trains itself for failure. When you postpone tasks, you reinforce the idea that effort can wait. This repeated delay becomes part of your identity. You start to see yourself as someone who waits, who hesitates, and who avoids discomfort. The mind doesn't need a dramatic event to change, it simply needs repetition. Over time, these delays become your default response, shaping your future in ways you never intended. Most people think failure happens suddenly, but it's actually trained over time. Every day, your mind learns from your actions and inactions. The lessons are subtle, but they accumulate. When you avoid challenges or give in to comfort, your mind becomes less resilient. This daily training shapes your expectations and your ability to handle discomfort. Understanding this process is the first step to changing it. Failure isn't a surprise, it's a result of repeated choices. Let's look at Daniel's story. Daniel was intelligent, kind, and full of ideas. People around him always said he had so much potential, and they were right. Daniel dreamed of building something meaningful with his life. He wanted discipline, success, and peace of mind. He watched motivational videos late at night, saved inspiring quotes, and made plans in notebooks. Every Sunday night he told himself, starting tomorrow my life will change. But tomorrow always looked exactly the same. Daniel's cycle was familiar. He made plans, set goals, and promised himself change. But when the alarm rang, he pressed snooze again and again. The guilt followed, but instead of fixing his day, he escaped from it. He opened social media, watched short videos, and compared his life to others. Hours disappeared, and his mind started learning dangerous lessons. The cycle repeated, quietly training his mind to expect failure. Daniel's mind began to prefer comfort over effort. He learned that comfort was safer than trying and that effort was risky. These thoughts started small, but repetition made them stronger. The mind is always learning, and what it learns most often becomes belief. Daniel's belief shifted, and he started to expect failure more than success. This quiet training was more powerful than any loud motivation. Repeated thoughts become beliefs, and beliefs become identity. Daniel's mind learned to expect failure, and soon that expectation became part of who he was. He stopped believing in his own words and promises. This transformation didn't happen overnight, it was trained through daily repetition. The mind's quiet surrender became Daniel's reality, shaping his actions and his future. Daniel's struggle wasn't about laziness, it was about training. Every time he avoided hard work, his brain became weaker against discomfort. Every time he delayed action, his confidence shrank. Every time he broke promises to himself, his self-respect faded. These repeated actions trained his mind to expect failure, not success. The real problem was the daily training, not a lack of motivation. One of the saddest feelings in life is when your own mind no longer trusts you. Daniel reached a point where he stopped believing in his own words. This loss of self-trust is painful and difficult to overcome. It's not caused by a single event, but by repeated actions and broken promises. The mind learns from experience, and Daniel's experiences taught him to expect disappointment. As months passed, Daniel's friends moved forward with their lives. He watched them achieve goals and grow while he felt stuck in the same place. The quiet training of his mind continued, making it harder for him to break free from old habits. Daniel's story is not unique. Many people experience this silent surrender and struggle to change their mindset. Repetition is powerful. The mind learns from what it experiences most often. If you repeat excuses, delays, and avoidance, your mind becomes trained to expect failure. But repetition can also be used to train success. The key is to become aware of what you're repeating and to make conscious choices. Daniel's story shows how repetition shapes identity and future outcomes. Awareness is the first step to change. When you notice the quiet surrender of your mind, you can begin to make different choices. Daniel's story reminds us that most people never realize how their mind is being trained. By becoming aware, you can interrupt the cycle and start training your mind for success instead of failure. Every small choice you make matters. The mind learns from daily decisions, not just big moments. Choosing to act instead of delay, to try instead of escape, and to keep promises to yourself builds confidence and self-respect. Daniel's story shows how small choices shape your future. It's never too late to start making better choices. To break the cycle of failure, you must change what you repeat. Start by noticing your habits and making conscious decisions. Replace excuses with action, delays with discipline, and avoidance with effort. The mind can be retrained, but it takes time and persistence. Daniel's story is a reminder that change is possible, even after months or years of quiet surrender. Effort is the foundation of resilience. When you choose effort over comfort, your mind becomes stronger against discomfort. Each time you push yourself, you build mental strength and confidence. Daniel's story shows how avoiding effort weakens the mind, but choosing effort can reverse the process. Resilience is trained, just like failure. Discipline is the key to lasting change. When you consistently choose discipline, your mind learns to expect success. Discipline is not about perfection, it's about persistence. Daniel wanted discipline, but he struggled to maintain it. His story shows that discipline must be trained daily through small actions and repeated effort. Keeping promises to yourself is essential for self-respect. When you follow through on your commitments, your mind learns to trust you. Daniel's story shows how breaking promises weakens self-respect and confidence. To train your mind for success, start by keeping small promises and building trust with yourself. Escaping discomfort is easy, but facing it builds strength. Daniel escaped from guilt by scrolling social media and watching videos. This avoidance trained his mind to expect comfort, not effort. Facing discomfort, even in small ways, retrains the mind and builds resilience. The choice between escaping and facing shapes your future. Comparing your life to others can be harmful. Daniel spent hours watching others succeed, which made him feel worse about himself. This comparison trained his mind to expect disappointment and doubt. Instead of comparing, focus on your own progress and growth. The mind learns from what you focus on, so choose wisely. Guilt can be a powerful motivator, but only if you use it to change. Daniel felt guilty, but he escaped instead of acting. This escape trained his mind to avoid discomfort and responsibility. To break this pattern, use guilt as a signal to take action, not as a reason to escape. The mind can learn new responses with practice. Social media offers easy escape, but it can trap your mind in cycles of comparison and avoidance. Daniel lost hours scrolling, training his mind to seek comfort instead of effort. The mind learns from repeated behavior, and social media can reinforce unhealthy habits. Be mindful of how you use technology and its impact on your mindset. Daniel's mind learned dangerous lessons. Comfort is safer than effort, trying is risky, and failure is expected. These lessons started small but grew stronger with repetition. The mind is always learning, and what it learns most often becomes belief. Be aware of the lessons you're teaching your mind every day. As Daniel's beliefs changed, his identity shifted. He became someone who expected failure and avoided effort. This shift didn't happen overnight, it was trained through daily repetition. The mind's quiet surrender became Daniel's reality, shaping his actions and his future. Identity is shaped by what you repeat. Confidence is built through action. When Daniel delayed action, his confidence shrank. Each missed opportunity made it harder for him to believe in himself. The mind learns from experience, and repeated delays teach it to expect disappointment. To build confidence, take action, even small steps matter. Self-respect is earned by keeping promises to yourself. Daniel's self-respect faded as he broke commitments and avoided effort. The mind learns to trust you when you follow through and loses trust when you don't. To rebuild self-respect, start with small promises and keep them consistently. Believing in yourself is essential for growth. Daniel stopped believing in his own words, which made it harder to change. The mind learns from repeated experiences, and belief is built through action. Start by acting on your promises and building trust with yourself. Belief grows with every step you take. Losing trust in yourself is one of the saddest feelings. Daniel experienced this loss, and it made change difficult. The mind learns from experience, and repeated disappointment teaches it to expect failure. To regain trust, start small and build consistency. Trust is rebuilt through action and persistence. Daniel watched his friends move forward while he felt stuck. This comparison made him feel worse and reinforced his belief in failure. The mind learns from what you focus on, and focusing on others can distract you from your own progress. Instead, focus on your growth and celebrate small wins. Old habits are hard to break, especially when they're trained daily. Daniel felt stuck, unable to change his routine. The mind learns from repetition, and breaking old habits requires conscious effort. Start by noticing your patterns and making small changes. Change is possible with persistence. The mind is always learning, whether you notice it or not. It learns from what you repeat, what you avoid, and what you focus on. Daniel's story shows how the mind can be trained for failure or success. Understanding this process is the first step to making positive changes. Changing your mindset starts with awareness. Notice the thoughts and habits you repeat and make conscious choices to change them. Daniel's story reminds us that mindset is trained, not fixed. With effort and persistence, you can retrain your mind for success and resilience. Discipline is essential for retraining the mind. When you consistently choose discipline, your mind learns to expect success. Discipline is not about perfection, it's about persistence and commitment. Daniel struggled with discipline, but his story shows that it can be built through daily practice. Persistence is the key to lasting change. The mind learns from repeated effort, and persistence builds resilience. Daniel's story shows that change is possible even after months of quiet surrender. Keep going even when progress is slow. Persistence pays off in the long run. Building new habits requires conscious effort and repetition. The mind learns from what you do most often, so focus on positive actions. Daniel's story shows how old habits can be broken and new ones formed. Start small, repeat often, and celebrate progress. Small wins matter. Each time you achieve a goal, no matter how small, your mind learns to expect success. Daniel's story shows the importance of celebrating progress. Small wins build confidence and motivate you to keep going. Focus on progress, not perfection. Your environment shapes your mindset. Daniel's friends moved forward, creating a positive environment for themselves. Surround yourself with people who encourage growth and discipline. The mind learns from its surroundings, so choose an environment that supports your goals. Success starts with mindset. Daniel wanted success, but his mindset was trained for failure. Changing your mindset is the first step to achieving your goals. The mind learns from repeated thoughts and actions, so focus on positive beliefs and behaviors. Peace of mind comes from discipline and self-respect. Daniel wanted peace, but his habits created stress and doubt. To achieve peace, focus on building discipline and keeping promises to yourself. The mind learns to expect peace when you act with integrity and persistence. Action is the foundation of change. Daniel's story shows that avoiding action trains the mind for failure. To retrain your mind, take action. Even small steps count. The mind learns from experience, and repeated action builds confidence and resilience. Retraining the mind takes time and effort. Daniel's story shows that the mind can be trained for failure or success. Start by noticing your habits and making conscious choices. With persistence, you can retrain your mind for resilience, confidence, and growth. The journey to change is ongoing. Daniel's story reminds us that setbacks are part of the process. Keep moving forward even when progress is slow. The mind learns from persistence and effort. Celebrate your growth and stay committed to your goals. Just as failure is trained, so is success. The mind learns from repeated positive actions and beliefs. Daniel's story shows that change is possible with persistence and discipline. Train your mind for success by focusing on effort, discipline, and self-respect. Your mind is powerful. It can be trained for failure or success depending on your choices. Daniel's story is a reminder to be mindful of what you repeat and focus on. With awareness and persistence, you can harness the power of your mind to achieve your goals. In summary, your mind is quietly trained every day by your choices, habits, and beliefs. Daniel's story illustrates how failure is not sudden but a result of repeated actions and thoughts. By becoming aware of your habits and making conscious choices, you can retrain your mind for success, resilience, and self-respect. The journey is ongoing, but every step forward matters.